got an opportunity here to show you some detailed information on the MY07 onwards STI power kit. I'm starting off a brand new exhaust kit being fitted to this car now, and at the same time I want to show you the difference between our exhaust and the factory standard exhaust. Now I'm doing this video because we have quite a few people online ask us about what the exhaust system sounds like before and after, and also exactly what it looks like before and after, other than just looking at the power kit document, which you can obviously download the PDF file off the MRT website. So this is a pretty popular car, probably what I would say is probably the last of the classic STI Impreza models before it went to the bubble back model with the different rear suspension, but also there's a few tips and tricks on this particular model we can show you to what to look for, which are commonly known faults on it as well. So the big difference between this model and the WRX is obviously in this year the WRX had a twin outlet rear muffler. The STI has got a single outlet rear muffler with a polished stainless steel garnish on the back. For all intents and purposes, from here on forward, the exhaust system is very similar because the platform's exactly the same. The exhaust system size and diameter between the WRX and the STI are effectively the same as well. And the only thing that varies a little bit is the cat converter. This assembly here on this particular model is actually a catalytic converter. Now depending on where you are in the world, you may be required to put a twin cat system in or a single cat system in. What I wanted to show you is you'll notice how the exhaust system on the factory point of view has the muffler at the back, has a large resonator in the middle here, and then obviously the flexible joint in the middle here. And the other important thing that I want to show you is up the top here is the position of the rear O2 sensor. Now that's really important to make sure that the car runs correctly, and it's important that that sensor is put in the correct position if you're changing your aftermarket exhaust system, because typically a lot of aftermarket exhaust systems have the catalytic converter down under the floor, whereas the MRT system, you'll see later on when we show you this finish with our exhaust system, has it up in the original factory position, which is up here. And this assembly here is the original factory catalytic converter, which comes off directly at the back of the turbo. The other small things, if you get my cameraman to come around this side, you'll see there's a bracket that hangs off the back of the transmission to support the exhaust system, and the MRT system you'll see is also very similar in the way the bracket mounts there as well. So what we've got now is the car running with a factory standard exhaust system. You probably find it almost impossible to hear on the audio recording with the camera. And we're just going to give it 2 quick revs so you can hear what it sounds like factory standard. Okay, that's about as loud as you will expect with a factory standard exhaust system. And then next we'll show you with our exhaust system fitted. What we'll do now is show you this car with the MRT exhaust system fitted, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more about some other tips and tricks and what to look for when you're upgrading your Subaru STI. We've now fitted the MRT exhaust system to the STI, and I'm going to quickly show you the difference between the MRT exhaust and the factory standard exhaust, starting with the rear sports muffler, which is what we call not too loud and not too quiet, but gives a good sporty note. Big chunky flanges where it bolts up to the next part of the centre assembly, so there's reduced chance in the future of any exhaust gas leakage, because the flanges are so thick that there's no way they'll bend. And one thing you need to be careful of is some aftermarket exhaust systems use flanges that are only half as thick as the MRT ones, and they will actually eventually distort and leak over a period of time. The centre assembly is mounted on the factory rubber hangers with simple things like bulge on the end of the hanger so the rubber won't slide off. This particular client's opted for the centre resonator. Now that doesn't reduce any performance, it just takes a little bit of the drone out of the exhaust system when you're driving at freeway speeds. Centre flexible joint to replace the factory flexible joint, and I may point out that some exhaust systems don't have a flexible joint at all, whereas the MRT ones use this ball joint design. So from a long-term point of view, that's why we can give a lifetime warranty. Correctly located rear O2 sensor, which has to be behind the cat converter, which is up the front, has a bracket off the back here to mount to the factory exhaust in a similar design to the factory exhaust system mount. And of course, big high flow catalytic converter where it comes down off the back of the exhaust system. And there you have it. that's the main component of the assembly that makes up an MRT exhaust system when you're fitting it as part of the XB kit on the 2007 STI Impreza WRX. We've now fitted the MRT exhaust system to the STI and we're going to start it up, and it gives you an opportunity to listen to what the exhaust sounds like. Now I want to point out that depending on where you are and what audio system you're listening to, the audio noise can vary a lot, but at least this will give you a bit of an idea of the difference between the standard exhaust system and the MRT exhaust. How to improve the throttle response when the car comes onto boost. Now I just want to show you first the turbo on a factory standard Subaru. This is a TD04. You'll see this is the wastegate outlet, which opens and closes like that, and this is the turbine outlet from the back of the exhaust housing. So you've got main exhaust coming out there. When it comes on boost, the wastegate port opens and it dumps excess exhaust gases, which obviously lowers the boost. Now what often people don't realise is bolted onto that is that. So you can see there's this big flat plate where the wastegate port opens this way, and then the outlet for the turbo main exhaust impeller comes from there. Now of course when you've got your car, when you've got your foot flat to the floor and it's on full boost, the wastegate obviously opens a lot to control boost, and you've got all these gases hitting this flange, going across at a 90-degree bend and then through another 90-degree bend and basically down the whole of the original factory exhaust. Now of course this is a big restriction, but what you really want is something like this. Now the big thing is this plate here projects into the back of the turbo here, because you can see there's a gap. Unfortunately, some products on the market have a flat plate with a pipe coming off here and a pipe coming off here, but of course all in here it's all one big open void. So the fact that it's got two pipes on the outside really is purely a design and marketing of no mechanical ability to improve the performance of the exhaust system. What you need to do is have a splitter plate that directs into the back of the turbo to keep the wastegate outlet and the turbo outlet separate, because the aim is to, when the wastegate comes on boost, you want the exhaust gases coming out of the wastegate to go through in the same direction as what the exhaust outlet is going, so the two flows of gas merge together in the same direction and then go down out through the exhaust. So there you have it. We've spoken about on the 2-litre turbo Impreza WRX range what to look for with the exhaust system, how it's important to match the exhaust modification with a correctly tuned ECU, and in some situations you might need to change the fuel pump and injectors and other ancillary components, and of course make sure the car's in good service condition. Like the one behind me, it's come back for its 4-year 100,000 kilometre service, and there's a whole lot of other information that you can get and download off our website, from audio files, dyno graphs, technical tips, and of course you can listen into the MRT phone system for the technical info line, more pictures on Flickr, YouTube and Facebook, and of course you can email us at any time and we'll help you with as much info as we can to help you look after your Subaru better. I hope this video has helped you learn more about your car, no matter where you are in the world. Look forward to helping you in the future. I'm Brett Middleton. Thanks for watching.